We have a lot to talk about in today's MLB recap. Anthony Rendon is finally looking like Anthony Rendon. Then again, it is spring training, and I'm going to knock on wood before I jinx him. The Padres, they played a 16-year-old. I'm not joking, a literal 16-year-old in yesterday's spring training game. Ohtani, he hit a baseball maybe 900 feet. I can't wait to get into that. And also, Joe Lasorsa of Italy. He brought this meme to life. It was so much fun to watch. By the way, guys, I'm on 2 hours of sleep. I look like this editing this video, so that's why you're not going to see my face in today's video. So, yeah, subscribe. The first thing we have to talk about, Corbin Carroll is one of my favorite prospects in all of baseball. He just signed a massive 8-year deal, $111 million. This is a contract extension. It's the first time in Major League Baseball history that a player with less than 100 days of service time got more than $100 million. He had 15 extra base hits, a 133 OPS plus, and a 1.1 WAR in his first 100 at-bats last year. I would say that's pretty good. We all know his biggest asset is speed, but he's elite in other areas. Good for Corbin Carroll. He got the bag. So we've seen Keibert Ruiz get the bag. We just saw Corbin Carroll get an 8-year extension, and soon enough, I fully believe that Jason Dominguez of the Yankees, he's gonna get a bag as well. That was his 4th home run of spring training, and as I'm recording, Anthony Volpe just hit a home run as well. Between Volpe, Peraza, Dominguez, the Yankees are gonna be pretty good for a long time considering how young those guys are. It's just, are they gonna play them? Probably not, because the Yankees, they think they're so much smarter than everyone else, but they're really not. I should clarify that Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman think they're a lot smarter, not the fan base. The fan base actually knows what's up. So we know that was Jason's 4th home run of the spring, so now he's tied with a couple different guys, including Parker Meadows of the Tigers. And if that last name sounds familiar, it's because he is the younger brother of Austin Meadows, who didn't really play a lot in 2022 because he had, I think, injuries to both Achilles. I don't know how that happened, but Parker Meadows, 4 home runs, he absolutely rakes. How awesome would it be to see him and his older brother on the same team in 2023? Brett Baty, he got on base 4 separate times in yesterday's contest. He is hitting a blistering 458 in spring training. He also has 2 stolen bases just because Brett Baty is him. I fully believe that this kid can be the next kind of 35 double, 30 home run player for the Mets. He is that gifted offensively. It's just, how much playing time is he going to get in 2023 with all the new pieces? Probably not a lot, but I'm hoping that he does get at least 300 at-bats. As a Guardians fan, I just want to say I am terrified of this 23-year-old Oscar Colas of the White Sox. He is going to be a problem for quite some time. I mean, the White Sox, even though their pitching fell apart last year, on paper, they still have one of the best rosters in all of Major League Baseball. Oscar Colas, the power hasn't really been there in spring, but last year, he hit .314 with 24 home runs in the minors, so the power is definitely real. It's legit. He's going to be annoying for quite some time. I promise you guys, we're going to talk about this 16-year-old for the Padres in just a second, but 2 pitching X factors I do want to bring up real quick. Hayden Wesneski of the Chicago Cubs, he came on over to the Cubs in that Yankees trade last year. He had 4 perfect innings yesterday. He should 1000% be the 4th or 5th starter for the Chicago Cubs. He has earned it after looking nasty in his debut season last year and nasty again in spring training. Also, Forrest Whitley, if you don't remember that name, it's because he's been injured pretty much over the last 2 or 3 years. But from 2018 to 2021, he was a consensus top 50 prospect every single year. Injuries, they really have derailed his career, but now that he's healthy, he hasn't really been the best since being healthy, but I feel like just timing is going to be a big part of it, and to me, he's going to be a massive X factor for the Astros. I'm going to knock on wood as I say this, but Anthony Rendon is looking like Anthony Rendon. He connected on a 3-run dong, and I'm just really hoping, I'm crossing my fingers literally as I'm saying this next sentence. I'm hoping that he has a comeback season. I want Cody Bellinger to be good again. I want Anthony Rendon to be on top of the baseball world all over again. There's a reason why he's getting paid $30+ million a season. Now, has he earned that contract? Obviously not, because of his production and just simply being out there. But once upon a time, Anthony Rendon was widely considered as the best third baseman in baseball, or at least a top 3 third baseman. And also, I do want to bring up Ozzie Albies. He's in the same conversation with Anthony Rendon as players who have been written off or cast astray as overrated players or simply overpaid players. Now, I don't believe people think Ozzie Albies is overpaid because he has one of the most affordable contracts in baseball today. And also, I just want to throw this out there, even though a lot of people say Ozzie Albies is overrated, he is the only, I want to put that out there, the only second baseman in Major League Baseball history to have multiple seasons of 40 doubles and 20 home runs before turning 25 years old. He also plays really good defense. It's just, he doesn't get on base a lot because he strikes out a lot and doesn't walk. All right, let's talk about the San Diego Padres, shall we? If it sounds like I'm losing my voice, it's because I went out, I barely got any sleep. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This daylight savings messed me up. But there's Fernando Tatis Jr.'s first base hit of spring. He also had an RBI double later on in the game, but apparently MLB just did not record that. I do want to talk about 16-year-old Ethan Salas. He made his professional debut at 16 years old. I'm not going to lie, his framing and just the way that he receives baseballs as a catcher, he looks like a 10-year MLB vet. He didn't get on base, but he looks very comfortable in that batter's box, and at 16 years old, if you just listen to him, he sounds like a natural.
Wow, he's 16 and in a spring training game. Do you feel like that internally at all?
No, age is just a number, and I mean, I've been prepared for this. I think my preparation is pretty good. My routines, everything I've been working for in the gym and the after hours, I think it's gone pretty well. Just another normal game for me.
Now it's time to break down the WBC from yesterday. Mexico and Colombia, they faced off, and Colombia, they got the run support early when Randy, that mother effa Arozarena, of course he came in clutch, He made things interesting, but Colombia, they smartened up. They kind of avoided Randy for the rest of the game, and Alex Verdugo, he could not compete with this dude. Guillermo Zuniga, he threw 102 straight past Alex Verdugo as Colombia, they were popping off yesterday. It was so much fun to watch. They beat Mexico in a slight upset. Puerto Rico versus Nicaragua. We have big leaguers scattered all across the place, at least for Team Puerto Rico. Javier Baez, he made a slick play up the middle for his pitcher, Marcus Stroman. A lot of people have been asking, why is someone like Lars Nootbaar on Team Japan, or why is Marcus Stroman on Puerto Rico? Well, they have lineage and family members from those countries, so they're allowed to play for them. Marcus Stroman, he looks solid with all them ground balls, and yeah, Team Puerto Rico, they scored 9 while only having 2 doubles. Yeah, most of the runs that they scored were on singles. That's baseball sometimes. Team Venezuela, they slayed the giant or the dragon, whatever the saying is. A lot of people have Team DR as the team to be in all of the World Baseball Classic. Then again, Team Japan looks pretty good. Team USA, we'll talk about them right after this game. There's a lot of favorites right now, but Team DR, they did get upset yesterday as Martin Perez, Luis Garcia, and the Venezuela offense pulled off the biggest upset. That's my opinion, though. They're great on paper, by the way, Team Venezuela, so it's not a huge surprise to me. Anthony Santander was huge with the stick and the leather. Team DR, by the way, was horrific. Like, all-time bad with runners in scoring position, 0 for 12. It wasn't very fun to watch as Ronald, he kind of fumbled the bag, but he's got a lot of games left. He'll come back. I had never seen a minus 10,000 favorite until Team USA faced off against Great Britain. That means if you spent $10,000 on this game, you would only win $100. Nolan Arenado had a huge game. Adam Wainwright was pretty solid, although he wasn't really facing the stiffest of competition. Kyle Schwarber, he sent one deep into right center field. The crowd was a big difference. Stateside fans talking about us Americans, we don't go as brazy as foreign fans, and I don't feel like that's really bad to say. They just have a lot more fun watching baseball because we just kind of like to go and eat hot dogs, drink beer, hang out with friends. We don't really get crazy unless something happens. We're very reactionary fans. And again, I don't think that's bad to say. It's just an observation. Korea picks up their first W of the WBC. Tommy Edman, he drove home 2 after really struggling in the first few games. Ha-Seong Kim, he had himself a field day, 2 home runs, and he puts Korea on top as they beat Czech Republic. Cuba, they faced off against Taiwan, and Cuba, they're getting their swagger back a little bit after losing their first 2 games. They have won 2 in a row now. Their pitching was lights out yesterday, and Yohan Moncada hit his first home run of the tournament. I love his swing so much. He kind of puts the game away, and they win 7-1. Italy, they faced off against Netherlands. The Dark Knight rose and shone yesterday. Matt Harvey had 1 earned run over 4. You have a future big leaguer and Sal Frelick coming in clutch, as well as current big leaguer Nicky Lopez. They both led the charge with 4 RBIs. Italy, they win 7-1 pretty easily. Nicky Lopez, by the way, usually a glove first guy. He's #1 in hits, and he's batting a cool .500 with 7 RBIs. Last but not least, Japan versus Australia. Ohtani sent this baseball to Mars. He also sent the entire crowd into a frenzy with this 3-run no-doubter. Fans, they shared the ball, they took pics with it, and then politely returned it to the person who caught it. I love watching them just watch baseball. Lars Nootbaar had an RBI double, and then you have Yamamoto, who had 8 strikeouts, 1 hit over 4 innings. Japanese pitchers are just something different in the World Baseball Classic. They also win 7-1, just like Team Italy. They are a perfect 3-0 in the WBC. They look untouchable right now. So if you guys are keeping up, Team Netherlands, Team Panama, and Team Taiwan have all been eliminated, so keep that in mind.